Well, the weather is frightening. The thunder and lightning seem to be having their way. But as far as I'm concerned, it's a lovely day. The wind has abated, the rain has stopped, and I've had lunch, and so all is well with the world. On Saturday the 13th of March 2021. I don't know about you lot. Some of you post videos, some of you don't. Some of you post comments, some of you don't. And some of your comments seem to appear and disappear, and I sometimes never quite know why, or whether I pressed the wrong button or whatever. So this video is sort of a reply to Joggle Vision. If you've not looked at any of his videos, I suggest you do. He does things a little differently. Very interesting chap. Anyway, I digress. Dear Joggle Vision lives in the beautiful island of Guernsey, and if any of you get the opportunity ever again to travel, it's a wonderful place to visit. And he posted a kind comment about a cure that he used on a granite building. A lot of buildings in Guernsey are granite. Now, granitic rocks are wonderful. They're rock hard and impermeable, and yeah. In Guernsey there's fundamentally two types of granite. There's pink granite and grey granite. Yeah, fantastic. Very good building material. In this part of France they use limestone, and limestone they tend to use different types of limestones for different types of jobs, and a lot of it is sort of a little bit treacherous. It quite happily cracks when you don't want it to, and if it gets wet and frosted, let me show you some wet and frosted limestone. Last year I got all a bit excitable, and I put some of the spare rock around the borders of my flower beds, and yeah, it got wet, and this is what it did. It turns it from being rock into being this sort of soft, soggy sort of stuff that's no use to man nor beast. I will be trying one or two tricks with this. For me, I think the first thing is to grade this ground a little bit better so that there isn't wet mud against the walls above the interior floor height. I think that's the first thing I'm going to try. I shall also think about putting in, appropriately, a French drain, which will involve much diggery. I will also be doing some stuff to improve this wall. If you look at this wall, it's got, well, what is it people say? Issues. It's got these great fissures running up and down it and across it and backwards and forwards, and there are places where the old render is cracked and loose, and of course I've picked the one, oh no, you might be able to see that fidgets, and of course all of this works against nice dry walls. The other thing, the style, the way that these walls are built, they're not really a wall, they're sort of two walls. Stones, so you've got a wall, and then you've got a wall, and then there's a sort of muck infill. which is a sort of mixture of rubble and mud and, well, possibly dead cats, who knows. And there just is no sort of membrane or no damp proofing. They sort of rely on thickness. They also very much here rely on the overhang of the roof to throw any wetness away from the wall. I am told that traditionally they didn't render. They just sort of continually repointed and repatched and such likes. Well, this building was rendered, who knows, 100 years ago. I've spoken to the grandson of the people that bought this building in 1946. He says it was like this pretty much when his grandparents bought it, except that wasn't rendered quite like that over where the old chimney was, but otherwise he doesn't think that there's been that much maintenance and upkeep done on it pretty much since his grandparents bought it, apart from having a new roof in about 2002, which was never finished. They never did get the job sort of finally dressed up and beautiful. So thank you for your suggestion on one trick for curing it. We'll take that on advisement. I'll have a chat with some local builders and see if they've got better ideas. But as I say, I think the first thing to do is to address the general movement of water towards the building. I've got a bad feeling that the local builders will say leave well alone, because if I dry the thing out completely, as we're on clay, we might get some shrinkage. It's one of those interesting problems. The place hasn't fallen down in the last 100 years, so I guess I've not got to worry about it before I worry about my next cup of tea.